Welcome to Live with Heather Vickery. I am your host, Heather Vickery. For those of you who are new, let me just give you a very quick rundown of who I am and what I do. I am a transformation coach. What that means is I help you get from where you are to where you want to be by learning to truly know yourself, like yourself, accept yourself, and live into yourself with human design, and then to rewire yourself on a subconscious level and get rid of all the bullshit stories and limiting decisions and limiting voices that society has put on you your entire life. And all of this is in an effort to help you learn to lead and live from embodied joy. Because joy is a revolution. Joy is the purpose. We step up, we choose bravely because we want to feel good in our lives. We want to be joyful. You deserve that. You do not have to earn that. And I know that's a new approach. I know that you have not always believed that you are worthy of joy and hope and love and possibility simply because you exist, but I am here to tell you that you are. I'm here every Thursday with a new topic, a new way to share that you can step out of fear and into bravery and build a life that you are actually madly in love with, no matter what's happening around you. And today's topic is a perfect example of that. I want to give a quick shout out. I want to explain right now. This is the very first time. I'm really going to have my partner come up and take a picture of this because this is wild. This is the first time I am live right here in the center on TikTok, over here on LinkedIn and YouTube, and over here on Substack. And I have never been live on Substack before. And it's a little bit tricky. So there are eyeballs here. I can see that. Thank you. I'm going to look in the middle, and I don't know how that's going to go for everybody, but I would welcome your feedback. I am not fancy on the tech side, so I don't always have the answers, but I want to be everywhere with as many people as humanly possible. So for those of you who have been around for a minute, I do an open office hour, Ask Me Anything, every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central. You are all invited to come and join me. We can talk about whatever you want. We can talk about human design or subconscious reprogramming or TikTok or Substack or your favorite book, because my friend Danny is here and I love a good book. Danny's in my book club, my TikTok book club. We can talk about politics. If you don't already know, I am more progressive than progressive. I'm super, super, super liberal. If that's not for you, then I'm not for you. Go ahead. Bye-bye. It's all good. We talk about queer things. Hey, gay here. Love it. We can talk about the retreats that I host. I have one coming up in January in Costa Rica, which is going to be amazing. It's the Reclaim Your Peace retreat. It is all about actually carving out space for your own solitude, your own awareness, finding yourself, hearing yourself, nurturing yourself. It's going to be amazing. The Imalo Institute is incredible, luxury property, the most amazing experience you can ever have. I'll tell you quickly before I get into today's topic, which is really a special one for me, that when I was at Imaloa this past March, it truly felt like there was a golden cord that came from the core of the earth through my body and connected me to the cosmos. I vibrated with the energy of the universe and this space. Now, it could partly be because of just the magic of being in the jungle, but also this property is on several different ley lines, which is really, really cool. And I had the space, the quiet to hear myself, to connect with myself, to be in joy with myself. And it was amazing. So while I cannot tell you what your specific transformation will be, if you join me in Costa Rica, I can promise you, you will transform. But we will be doing compassionate inquiry, somatic, very simple somatic healing movement work. This is a retreat for peace and joy and rest and connection and reconnection. It is not an active outdoorsy thing, I promise. That's just not me. I'm not an active outdoorsy person. We're going to do sound baths and cacao ceremonies and some beautiful breath work. I'm going to lead people through hypnosis and EFT tapping and all sorts of amazing things. So anyway, if that interests you, let me know. We still have some spots available, January 2026. Okay, folks, today's topic is all about the fact that everything is temporary. And I'll tell you what, right now, that message is more important than ever. For me, for the people in my community, for my clients, for my family, for my loved ones. Hey, Chris Davis, welcome. everything is temporary. Change is the only constant that we have. That's it. The only thing we can know for sure is that this moment will change. And all we can do is take radical responsibility for ourselves in those moments, our own thoughts, choices, actions, and behaviors. Yes, of course, we do want to think about how those things could impact other people. That's where intention doesn't always equal impact. And we want to be thoughtful about how things are going to land, but also with boundaries and with alignment and with choosing the things that you know are right for you. I had lunch with a colleague design. And so she's got that hell yes or fuck no energy, right? She's a pure manifesting generator. If you don't know what that means, join me for weekly Ask Me Anything office hours and we will talk about your human design. It's going to change your life. I promise. Anyway, I invited her to start asking herself yes or no questions and then listening only to her body to get the answers. What does your yes feel like in your body? What does your no feel like in your body? And I got a text message from her earlier this week that said, um, it said, I made some incredible decisions by listening to my yes or no. And I said, are you able to feel that in your body? And she was like, oh, hell yes. Like my knowledge, my intuition is really strong now that I know what I'm looking for. And that's the kind of thing I like to help people do. But I came to today's topic because I had this really incredible exchange and interaction, very unexpected. And I really knew that I wanted to share this with all of you. So I am going through perimenopause. I just turned 50 last December. I guess that's not just because we're halfway through the year already. But I've been going through perimenopause since my early 40s. And there is a woman on TikTok named Stephanie Moss. If you are looking to learn more about perimenopause and symptoms and treatments, go find Stephanie. She's amazing. Anyway, um, I've been having all sorts of issues, all sorts of complications. So my doctor sent me in for some blood work. We have a little lab right up the street. And I went in and this wonderful woman was drawing my blood. And as she was drawing my blood, first she noticed, let's see, can I get this? She noticed this tattoo. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to make my arm do that. This tattoo, which I got when I was in Key West a couple of years ago. Um, I'll get a picture of it to post for you guys, but it's a hummingbird and I've always called my girls, I have 4 daughters, my 4 little birds. And then when I published my first book and all my subsequent books, my publishing imprint name is 4 Little Birds Press. So this is a hummingbird for my 4 little birds with 4 feathers. The number 4 is actually in it. And then there are 4 different colors. So she noticed that and she loved that. And we talked about that. But then she noticed, this one's easier to show you. Then she noticed the tattoo on my inner left wrist that I have had now for several years, many years. And it says, be here now. And she says, what does that mean to you? Why do you have that tattoo? And I said, it reminds me to stay grounded and present in this very moment, because this is the only moment we have for certain. And if we're always living in the past or we're always living in the future, then we're missing this moment. And she started to cry. And she said, I really needed to hear that. I've been going through some really dark times and I'm finding everything difficult. So thank you for reminding me to stay grounded and stay present. So just that exchange by itself, I loved. It was really beautiful. It was meaningful to me and it was heart-centered to me. And then 2 days later, I got my blood test results back and there were some concerns and issues. And I had to go back the next week to have my blood drawn again. And I got the same technician. And she said, oh, I remember you. I remember your tattoos. And I said, I remember you too. You really inspired me to know that we can have impact on people in all sorts of unique, unexpected ways. We never know when just showing up as our own empowered, authentic, embodied self is going to be powerful or meaningful to somebody else. So always show up as your own empowered, aligned, embodied, honest, authentic self. Like always, because you just as somebody who exists have the power to change somebody else's trajectory or just to make their day better. You never know, right? Anyway, um, we started talking about all sorts of wonderful things. She started sharing some really personal situations about what has going on in her life, and I offered some support. And we talked a little bit about gratitude, how having a gratitude practice actually helps us stay grounded and stay centered when things feel really chaotic and really out of our depth. Because the first thing that we learn when when I got certified in positive psychology is that everything is temporary, right? So even when it feels like the bottom is falling out and the world couldn't be any worse than it already is, we have to remember that this too can change. When we center ourselves in gratitude, all of the sudden, we recognize that not everything is bad all the time. We recognize that we have more support and love, that sometimes there are good things. So, this is by no means to say that you should not all be honest about your feelings. This is not toxic positivity. This is not push your feelings aside and pretend they don't exist. This is saying and being honest that yes, this can be bad. This part can suck. We don't like this, but also these moments over here, these are good. So something as simple as a daily gratitude practice where you list 3 to 5 things you're grateful for and why will have a tremendous impact on your overall well being. Gratitude is scientifically proven to increase your overall happiness and well being while decreasing stress, anxiety, and depression. And my favorite thing about this human design, subconscious reprogramming, and gratitude is you don't actually even have to believe me. You just have to try it. You just have to show up and say yes to it. And if you do that, you will discover that it works, which is absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favorite things. Um, so to wrap that story up, we had a long conversation. It was really lovely. And she said, "Can I give you my number so that you can share some resources with me?" Because it was actually a really great reminder that I live in this really unique world where I am exposed to all sorts of people and all sorts of things, and not everybody else is. Books and theater and creativity and this online world that we're in. And I see and meet so many amazing people. And that's just not reality for a lot of people. So I said, absolutely, give me your phone number. I will text you. I promise. And y'all, by the time I got to my car, it had fallen out of my pocket. And I felt awful that I no longer had her phone number. But you know what? I just remembered the other day that she told me she was moving offices and she told me exactly where she was going to be. And I know where that is. So, what I'm going to do is give her one of my gratitude journals, Shift Your Focus, as a gift with a note that says I'm here to support her, in any way that she needs, and give her my card. And I'm hopeful that she will take this opportunity to choose gratitude for herself and to choose listening to herself and slowing down and recognizing that everything, everything is temporary. And I hope that for you too. I'm curious, what are the things that you're struggling with right now? What are the things that you feel you can't overcome right now? My love, the only thing you can do is take radical responsibility for yourself all day, every day. We know that there are terrible things happening. And we want to take that information and we want to say, given what I know, who do I want to be in this moment? How do I want to be in this moment? What do I want to choose for myself and my family and my loved ones? And then you have to trust yourself. This is why human design is such a powerful resource because it helps you know what is for you and what isn't for you, like physically embodied, feel it in your body. And if you don't know anything about that, again, join me on Tuesdays, 12 p.m. Central for Ask Me Anything office hours. We can talk about your human design. You could get a human design reading. I actually have been spending the last several weeks working my ass off on a human design subliminal audio content library, which I think will be launched within the next 2 weeks. How exciting is that? I mean, the amount of hours I've put into it is wild. And my team, Esme, I love you. If you're watching this, I love you. I love you. I love you. She makes the magic work behind the scenes. If you own your own business and you do not have a support system, somebody to help you get it all done, because just because you can do it all doesn't mean you should. Hit me up. Let's talk about it. Come to office hours. Let's talk about it. Let's find a way for you to get some support, because it is really, really hard to do everything on your own. And I can tell you that right now, as I'm in the middle of this like tech situation, it's so hilarious. I cannot wait to get a picture of this, because it's cracking me up completely. And, we do what we can, because that's all we can do. Is the best that you can is the best you can do. And we need to stop apologizing for ourselves all the time. And we need to stop thinking that we can suddenly be different than we are naturally inclined to be. That doesn't mean you can't achieve more or learn new things. But for example, if you are somebody who loves to wait until the last minute to get things done, maybe that's exactly how you're supposed to be. Maybe you have a defined route and you can put things off, and that pressure is fine. Maybe you do your work at the last minute, and that's okay. Stop making excuses and apologizing for not being somebody that you think somebody else wants you to be. That is the core of the work I do, helping you know, like, and trust yourself exactly as you are, to live in alignment and embodiment so that you can have a life that you enjoy being part of, that you want to wake up to, even when things are hard. And things are often hard, and things are very hard right now. I am not excusing that. I am not forgetting that. I do not want you to pretend that you don't have big feelings and that other things aren't happening, because that doesn't do anybody any good. In fact, I met somebody for the first time last weekend who recently had a really big loss. Um, and I have a lot of sympathy for that. Losing somebody that's very, very close to you is tragic and traumatic. And I said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss. And they said, well, we get on because that's what else can we do? We just get on. And I said, well, yes, that's true. We do just get on. We don't really have any other choices, but it doesn't mean that we don't have big feelings about it. And if you just sweep all of those big feelings under the rug, you don't actually just get on. You mask and mask and mask until the bottom falls out and you fall apart. That is not the answer. So the old saying, you got to feel it to heal it. You do. You have to be honest. And so one of my favorite techniques is self-compassion work, which if you haven't studied or read anything from scientist Kristen Neff, I highly recommend that. I bring self-compassion work into everything that I do. Loving yourself, tender self-compassionate touch, speaking kindly to yourself, giving yourself compassion that you want and desire from other people. Your body actually doesn't know the difference between self-compassion, compassion that comes from you, and compassion that comes from somebody else. And it does change the game. It stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system. It calms you down. It puts you in perspective. It reminds you that everything is temporary and that your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are all normal, because you are a human being who has complicated thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Often we have many, many emotions at once, mixed emotions. That is okay. Allow that to be true and learn from it. Be curious, not judgmental, and then move through them to the next thing. If you are pretending that everything is perfect all the time, the bottom is going to fall out in a way that you may not be able to recover from, or that's much, much harder to recover from. So all of these tips and techniques and tools, regular gratitude practice, my goodness, like if you want to get my journal, you can get it on my website. I also have one for kids and families. I also have manifestation journals. Oh, I can't grab them right now, but all my books are right here. 3 different manifestation journals. That's a really helpful tool. EFT tapping, meditation, guided meditation, visualization, um, hypnosis, hypnotherapy, time techniques. I have a bunch of resources that can help you with that. And there are a lot of ways, if you're curious and you want to know more, again, come to office hours, ask your questions. Let's talk about it. It's totally free and it's great. So we have the subliminal audios coming, and I have some subliminal audios already on my website. And I have the Spark Collective, which is an $18 a month community membership specifically designed to meet you where you are so that you can show up for yourself in the cracks of life. Everything we do inside the Spark Collective is designed to be done in 15 minutes or less. So I do a weekly intuitive journal prompt that I pull directly from human design transits. What does that mean? It means that energy is alive for you that week, even if it's not something that shows up in your chart. So anytime you reflect and reassess is powerful. But if you do that in alignment with when I drop the journal prompts, you're going to have a bigger transformation, a bigger sense of awareness. And it's very, very, very cool. I also have a content library filled with all sorts of resources that you can go and do in 10 or 15 minutes. You can do them in your car, in your bedroom, from your office, while you're walking, all sorts of things that are available to you. And I really encourage people to show up in the way that they want into that community. If you want to be chatty and engaged, you can do that. If you want to just come in and get your content and walk out, you can do that. We don't have any expectations. You don't have to work harder to be part of the Spark Collective. You just have to show up for yourself in whatever way really works. Subconscious reprogramming, everything I do always includes human design because I just think it's such a powerful thing to combine human design with the subconscious reprogramming and then all of the other skills and resources. So there's all sorts of fun ways that you can show up for yourself, that you can take care of yourself. And then in 2 weeks, we will have the human design subliminal audio content library out. It's going to be amazing so that you can actually learn in alignment and embodiment on a subconscious level without having to put a lot of extra effort forward. I love subliminal audios because they are so you just hear beautiful music, and underneath that you have affirmations, but you don't hear me, not really. You might be able to hear me a little stating the affirmations. And what happens is they play in the background and your subconscious mind absorbs and starts to shift and starts to change. And you can just play them in the background while you're working, taking a walk, doing the dishes. You can even play them when you sleep, although make sure that you're going to sleep well. I don't always sleep well when I have a subliminal in the background, but I love to use them in the background for meditation or for a power nap if I want to just take a 15, 20-minute power nap. So the subconscious reprogramming subliminal audios I have on my website right now, we have one, Joyful Warrior. I can. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, I can. I can do this. I can do this hard thing. I can take up this space. I can do whatever I want. We have one of those. We have one for selling with ease and alignment because I struggled with that. And if I create it for myself because I'm struggling with something, then I know there's somebody else who wants it. So I try to share all of the things that I build and create for myself with all of you. That just tells you that I'm actually doing these things. I'm doing these things that I'm encouraging you to try because I know that they work, because I do them for myself. There's nothing that I've ever tried to promote as a coach that I have not actively done for myself. If I can't vouch for it, I'm not going to tell you to try it. I promise. Um, what other subliminal audios do we have? We have the I Can, the Joyful Warrior, selling with ease and abundance. Oh, wealth and creating wealth and abundance. Yes. So those are there right now. And then those are all 1 hour long subliminal audios. Easy. Download them. They're yours. You get to keep them. Listen to them whenever you want. Once we have the human design subliminal audios out, which I'm so freaking excited about. They're 30-minute audios. You can get just a single audio or you can get a package of 5, which is your type, authority, profile line, um, type, strategy, authority, profile line, and environment, which is incredible. And then you could also get a group of 9, which is all of the centers. So again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're new to human design, it is a modern scientific self-discovery system that is all about living into your best self, expanding yourself, living in alignment. There's nothing to change or fix in your human design because you are perfect exactly the way you are. You need to learn to understand yourself and work with what you've got. And your centers, so in the middle of the chart, you have all of these centers. We have the head center, the ajna, which is sort of this third eye area, the throat, the heart center, no, sorry, the G center, which is sense of self, the ego, will, heart center, it's called all of those things. Then you have your spleen, your solar plexus, your sacral, and your root. So those are either defined or undefined. Hey, Brian, how are you? Brian, brain, Hillary, it's Hillary. I can't, this is why I shouldn't read comments while I am also doing a live. Hello, Hillary, from the Brain Candy Blueprint on Substack. I'm glad that you're here. How funny was that? Anyway, you'll get to pick. If you have an open or defined or undefined center, you'll get all of that. So you can get all 14 audios, you can get the 5 audios or a single audio. It's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to share it with all of you. Get ready. Subliminal audios are powerful because they just work in the background. And so, we're fucking tired, right? Aren't you tired? I'm fucking tired. The world is on fire. I feel the energies are shifting massively. And it's nice to know that sometimes you can elevate and grow and embody and align, and it could just be a little bit easier. And that's what subliminal audios do for you. And I actually love that for subconscious reprogramming across the board. I have all of these tips and tools and tricks to help you shift a thought pattern, a belief, a behavior. We can let go of negative emotions in ways that you don't have to associate with past memories specifically, which is really, really beautiful. Time techniques is incredible. Switch techniques. So if there is something that you know logically, like you're like, I know I shouldn't worry about this. I know that logically that's not really a problem, except I still do XYZ. I still behave in this. I still subconsciously believe this. I can help you shift that behavior. And I would love to help you shift that behavior because that's what I'm here to do. I am here to help people just like you, heart centered, conscious leaders just like you, learn to lead from embodied joy. Because when we show up from a place of joy as our foundational set point, we show up differently, we engage differently, we get different results, and the world is a better place. And I want that for you. I truly want that for you. I want that for all of us. We had to do this together. What a fun show. This has been so great. Remember that everything is temporary. And I hate to say this, I'm like a negative Nelly, but even the good stuff, right? So hold on to it. Be present in that moment. Enjoy it. Find the things that are working. Make a list of all the things that bring you joy, right? Hold on to them. Oh, I'm pretty broken. I definitely have been trying to work on myself. Well, if there's anything I can do to help you, please reach out. You're welcome to join me Tuesdays, 12 p.m. Central for Ask Me Anything office hours. You can follow the link in all of my bios, wherever you're looking, to sign up for office hours. If I can support you, I would always love to do that. And again, for anybody who's looking for something, a big gift to give yourself, to find peace and quiet, to reclaim your peace, to connect with yourself. We do have that Costa Rica retreat in January, but we can talk about that anytime. Everything is temporary. What's happening right now will not be happening at another point. Everything will change. It's the only constant. Before I go, whenever I do a live show, I like to pull a Create Brave card. My deck has started to fade a little bit with the sunlight, but I co-created these with my friend Rachel Swanson, who I adore. She's a creativity coach. I'm the Brave Method coach, and they are manifestation cards. They're here. Manifestation isn't something that you just declare and it magically happens. Manifestation is something that you declare and then you shift the way you show up in the world to make it happen. And a really great example of that is me on all these different platforms right now, being live with all of you, because I have a message that I want to share with you, because I see you, Zeta and Hillary and Danny and Chris. I see you, I honor you, and I want to help you feel good, lead from joy, know yourself, like yourself, trust yourself, because you are a gift to the world. You bring more than you can ever imagine to the world. We need you. And I want to help people embody that. So the manifestation cards just sort of help you think creatively and out of the box about whatever it is that you're experiencing. So we'll pull a card, and whatever message shows up for you after you hear the card and look at the card, it's telling you something you can take intentional action towards, something you can build, because it's important to be able to do so, right? So it's going to call you on your bullshit maybe just a little bit. That's what they do, these cards. They call you on your bullshit just a little bit. So just like a tarot card, an affirmation card, an oracle card, I just shuffle until the universe says, hey, there it is. This one's for you. We got it. You guys ready? This one's kind of funny. Delegate. Just because I can do it all doesn't mean I should do it all. I actually think that I said that in this very live show earlier, because I was complimenting my OBM, Esme, who I adore. Just because you can do it all doesn't mean you should do it all. I also have a VA, Hanny. I love her to pieces. She makes my life better. I'm so grateful for that. What does that look like, though, if you don't own your own business? What does delegation look like if you just feel overwhelmed? If life is just too much? Well, maybe it means asking for help. Maybe it means asking somebody else to load or unload the dishwasher, or to remind you to put the laundry in, right? Maybe it just means not carrying the load completely on your own all the time. Maybe it means that. Maybe it means that you do not have to hold everything all the time. Just because I can do it all doesn't mean I should do it all. So I'm curious, and you guys can type in the comments, send me a DM, come to office hours and tell me about it. Like, when you hear this, what does this mean to you? What resonates for you? What shows up? I love the Create Brave cards. They are beautiful and they are fun. And I know so many people who just pull one every day to sort of connect and light up. And if you are curious and you would like your own deck, you can get them on my website. Again, link in bio for all my books, all my cards, all my services and products, all the live show, which you're here for. Come back next Thursday, 12 p.m. Central, as well as my weekly office hours, 12 p.m. Central, every single Tuesday. You guys, this has been great. I'm so excited. And I'm so excited that I'm going to talk to Substack directly right now. I'm so excited that I got to do this, that I got the courage and the guts to do this live. I don't know what the audio sound is like. I don't know what the video quality is like. I don't know anything. I would love your thoughts. I would love your feedback. Feel free to send me a message, or do the lives stay live on Substack? I don't even know. But if they do, you can comment there. I would love to hear your feedback. YouTube, LinkedIn, thank you for being here. It is a joy and a pleasure. And TikTok is like my happy little playground. So, I always say that unless Mark Zuckerberg buys TikTok, I'm going to go down with that ship because I just enjoy TikTok. It just brings me a lot of joy. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. I want you to remember today and every day to go out and choose yourself bravely because you are worth it. And the world is waiting for you to know, like, and trust yourself. You make a difference. You matter. I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much. I will talk to you all soon. Now I got to end all of these. Stick around. Well, come back. Come back next Thursday. Bye. Okay. Ending that.